Hey everybody, this is Ryan Harris with Purdue Extension in Spencer County, and this is the second video on how to make your own Pong game using Scratch. So in this video, we will be talking about how to make the ball move right here, and we will be talking about how to bounce it off of the paddle and change the score right here. So we'll get things started by clicking the planet right here, which will take the place of my ball. And for all of this, we'll start with when green flag is clicked. And then we will have our first two motion blocks be our starting point for the ball. So every time I hit my green flag, the ball will start in the same place. So that place will be X20, Y150. And it will point and go in a 45-degree angle to start with. So if we click the flag a few times, we can see that it starts in the same spot every time. So that's good. So we will then go to our control and pull out a forever key and put it right under the point in direction 45. And remember, you guys can change all of these different numbers however you want. You can have the ball starting wherever you want it to, and have it point in any direction that you want. But this is just how I did mine. So after we pull out our forever key, we will put it right here, and then we will put these two motion keys inside of it, which are move 10 steps and if on edge bounce. So the first one can be found at the top of the motion keys right here. I will just pull out a move 10 steps and put it in the forever, and then I'll scroll down to if on edge bounce, and that will just make the ball bounce every time it hits the edge of the stage. So we can see how that's done right here. So every time it hits the edge of the stage, it just bounces right off of it. So we have that working perfectly. So that's the basic ball movement code right here. And now we're going to go into how to bounce it off of the paddle and how to score it. So the first thing we're going to do is have the show variable score. And we're going to get that right here under variables. And we are going to pull out the show variable. And we can click this drop-down menu to rename the variable to score. Or you can name it to whatever you want. I just have mine as score. And then we're going to pull that out right here. And then what we're going to do is pull out a forever, which is under control. And we're going to put that under the show variable. And then what we're going to do is have a if then, which is also under control. And we're going to put that inside of the forever. So it looks something like this. And then inside of the if then, we're going to put the if touching paddle. And how we get that is we go over here to sensing, and at the very top of sensing it says touching mouse pointer, and we just have to hit the drop down, and you should have all three of your sprites right here, and we are going to choose paddle right there, and we are going to pull it out and put it right in that if then blank space. So right now it says if touching paddle, then it's going to do all of these things right here. Okay? So we'll have if touching paddle, then first it will turn 160 degrees, then it will move 5 steps, and then it will wait 0.1 seconds. That move 5 steps and the wait 0.1 seconds is really just about getting stuck. It's pretty common for the ball to get stuck on either the paddle or sometimes even on the edges, and that's just to get things moving again and get them unstuck. And then we will go back to variables, and we will pull out a change score by 1, or you can change score by 5, change score by 10, however many you want the score to go up by every time it hits the paddle. So we're going to chain all of that together, and then we are going to put that in the middle of the if-then. So we have if touching paddle, then turn 160 degrees, move 5 steps, wait 0.1 seconds, and then change the score by 1. So, if we get things started, it will A, bounce on the edge, and B, bounce off of your paddle every time you hit it with the paddle. And at the same time, every time it hits your paddle, it will change the score by 1. So it's that simple, and we will look in the next video on how to end the game, and then how to put the score back to 0 once we're done.